we're once again in that room number 7. If you go to I put it in the chat, that room with the pit, and I don't think any of the named characters are dead. Because I originally thought maybe they would be, but then as I looked, I kind of looked. We looked at the rules about dying and bleeding and binding, and it seems that we have 3 characters who are negative hit points at the moment, 3 NPCs. Saja, the Necromancer, Sir Onward, the Baron Thenu Knight, and then Avi, I believe, is also in negative hit points. And Wrosk has bound them all, and sort of we've kind of decided, even though it's not, I think, I'm not. It's one of the few times in the rules where I'm a little unclear about exactly whether the binding stops people from losing negative hit points or not. I think it's fine. I think we'll say it does. I don't know. I suspect that they might not have meant it to do that, but I think it's sort of unclear, and it makes it really. I don't know. Maybe I'm being easy on everyone. Maybe I should just let all these NPCs bleed to death. But I think I made the ruling last time. We'll stick with it, but barring kind of, I don't know what the guys who made the game would say. If they say like, oh, we should have been more clear about that, or if they if they thought they were clear about it. Anyways, but so I think that the issue is now, even if they're bound, they are negative hit points, which means they're unconscious, or I'm thinking not necessarily like unconscious, like they're completely sleeping, but more like they're sort of in and out of consciousness, probably a little delirious, not really knowing where things are. Probably all of them are in shock. So they're not doing well, and they can't really participate easily in getting themselves out of here. And so we've got Uric is badly wounded, but not at negative hit points. And then I think you guys are kind of okay, right? I forgot to pull up your guys' character sheets. Sorry, that's the last.
My armor's kind of beat up, but I've only lost 3 hit points total since last time I was found or whatever. So
yeah, so I think Cyir is he's down a couple hit points, but aside from that, looks to be pretty good.
I really can't find the.
Are you looking for the character keeper?
Character keeper. Oh, 1 second, I'll grab it. But you guys are telling me. I mean, I believe you guys. It's like I don't trust you guys keeping track of my hit points. No, I'm just kidding with that, of course. So that sounds good. So that's basically the situation, that you've got 3 potential people. Oh, thanks, Robbie. 3 potential people to kind of, you need to help out of there, and then Gylus is with you. So you have Gylus, who isn't injured. Gylus hasn't been in any of this combat, and so is in pretty good shape. And then you have Uric, who is again, definitely had taken a pretty bad beating over the course of the last 2 sessions, but is up and about and active. And then the last thing is there's that creature which is unlike any of the creatures you had otherwise seen. So it moves faster than the zombie. It does seem to be some type of undead, but is moving faster than the zombie. It has flesh on it. It's not like a skeleton, but it attacked Avi and then escaped, but is on the loose somewhere. And it went down went kind of back down through the pit, but I did want to remind you that the entrance to that the other room was open. So even though it went down into the lower level, there was still an open entrance back up out to the top level. So there's an just kind of fair play that he's not necessarily trapped down there. You can't assume that he's just down there. Okay. Having said that, now, what would you guys like to do?
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. Given the number of injured, I think getting them out would be beneficial for them. I was also, I think the place where we have, I mean, if we're interested in grabbing something on the way out, there's that storeroom that had stuff in it that is, still presumably there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that they have right there were other items of value were the that hall of the statue of, they had the kind of strange statues, and I know that those had some gems that were in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had gems in their eyes, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah, they do.
Well, that's also down by the door to the room with the other secret door in it. So if we probably should do this anyway, go down to that door and bolt it from the outside, because that's where they were keeping the prisoners. So at least, depending on how powerful that creature is, at the very least, the door will slow it down, and we hear it trying to break through. Just as a thought.
Yeah, that other door seemed pretty sturdy, heavy. Although it's not clear that there was any way to secure it. That it's more like that it's sort of it's secured because it's secret and it's kind of heavy, and not because there's like a locking mechanism or anything.
Well, I'm sorry. I meant the door that led to the hallway, because it has the bar across it.
Oh yeah, that door. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That door does have a bar. Correct. Okay. Sounds good.
Should we do that first, do you think? Get to the door to bar it?
Yeah, I think that should be our first thing. I mean, it might be running deeper into the underground to get away, because we heard it a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, it mostly hurt us, but
mostly hurt Uric, and then kind of it was hit. Yeah, it was hit. It mostly hurt Uric, and then kind of ran away once you guys had returned in force, because I think it was like, it was. Wait, not Uric. Sorry.
Avi.
Avi.
Yeah, Avi. It like Avi had been left alone, and then you guys came back with Gylus and you two, Gylus and Uric, came back and outnumbered it. It ran away once it was outnumbered, but I forget who hit it, but it was not damaged it didn't take it wasn't like hugely damaged, but I'll say like forget who rolled the damage for that. But okay, so yeah, the logistics of that is so it's pretty easy for. I mean, it'd be pretty easy for any of either you two or Guilus to get over there pretty quickly to do that. Do you want to kind of do it? I guess the question would be, does one of you want to kind of make a quick run over there to do that, or kind of wait till you get?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, if we want to do it as quickly as possible, I think maybe Cyir would say, okay. I mean, I have pretty good vision, even right in the dark. I could run over there and then meet up with you guys. Where would you want to meet up, at in the hallway with the statues, or in the storeroom?
Let's do the hallway and the statues. Wrosk will sort of collect everybody and get them heading in that direction, to make sure we don't have any stragglers. Because I mean, we could probably trust Guilus for the purposes of protecting the Necromancer or his own hide, but we're still not totally trusting, or I still trust him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, obviously he's taller than me, so it's hard to trust a guy like that.
Yeah, and he's been. I mean, that's fair enough. He's been a little bit all over the place. So yeah, you'll get. So yeah, that's reasonable. Wrosk is starting to get people ready. Yurik is helping out, and then Cyir can kind of dash over and do that. Let's just do. There's not really any good. Not really any good. Necessarily a way to do this. I guess the other thing would be is I think it's fair to say, I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's fair to say that even when Wrosk was binding people, you could say that if you guys had known about this, it's reasonable to say that Cyir was trying to do this already ahead of time, to like to kind of get over there. If you were kind of like the pressure was on to do that. So I think that's kind of fair. So I'm trying to think if there's a good way to. Okay, I know how to do it. Okay. Sorry about this. Just trying to figure out the best way to handle this. Oh, okay, that's easy. So, Cyir, yeah. So yeah. So okay. So Cyir, you can get over to the. You can go. Yeah. So Cyir, you get over to the hallway where the the statues are, into the storeroom. The storeroom door is open, which is as you left it. Do you want to just kind of, so you want to just bar it now?
Yeah, I think that would be wise. Yeah.
I guess it's not really this. I mean, yeah, the room where those guys, the room where the prisoners were.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so so that's barred. So now the only entrance from the lower level up into here is through the pit, which is back where the rest of you guys are. And then I guess it's going to take a little bit of time for Wrosk and Uric and Guilus to kind of get the other three people down there. Okay, so that's fine. So they eventually straggle down. I guess Cyir, you've been keeping watch, and so now you guys are in this in this hallway. And I imagine again that when you're moving the kind of the negative hit points people, it takes, I think, at least one of you to sort of do. You can kind of get them maybe walking a little bit for short periods of time, and then have to kind of sit them down. So it's not even just kind of going, how many I don't know, like they're going like 50 feet, from the room 7 to hallway 4. Takes it takes a lot of time to kind of get them down there. You got to take breaks. So by the time, probably it takes like a real, we can say like one of these dungeon exploration turns of 10 minutes to get to move 50 feet, because of the logistics involved. But you get down to that hallway, and you can kind of slump the negative hit point folks down on the ground, while you can take a look at the statues. And the statues, as we've talked about, which ones are okay? So I want to make sure I've got the right. Okay, yeah. So the statues in I have it right now. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So the statues in this hallway. Remember, there is one of a woman who is drowning, and in this statue, the eyes are both seem to be some type of gems. There is the statue of a man who's hanging, and the eyes again are gems, and the 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 rope that is part of this statue it looks like actual rope. It doesn't look like a um, it's not like bronze or made of metal like the other part of the statue, but it's like an actual rope that's tied up around a hook in the ceiling. And then the last statue seems to be a woman who is dying while giving birth, and each of the eyes are jewels, and that's the statue that's in front of the doorway to that secret room where the where all that stuff was being stored, where you guys had taken like one bag of, or Mule had taken like one bag of coins or whatever already. So yeah, so you've got kind of 6 gems that's possible to get out of these statues, and yeah, there you go. So that's sort of what they're.
And
So I assume you guys wanted to get those out.
Yeah, well, yeah. Although Cyir would say, if there was something trapped here, I think.
Oh, sorry, you're muted, Robbie.
Oh, I think Cyir would say, if there is something that's trapped here, the one that would, I would be especially wary of would be the hanging man, because, something about, I could imagine if somebody wanted to trap this place, somebody would just cut the rope, and then that would suddenly, lighten the weight. And if there was something about that hook that would be tied to some type of, mechanism. that's what would strike me as perhaps the most obvious thing, if somebody were inclined to trap something here.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, because it runs to the ceiling, and I was wondering, have we pulled on that rope yet? And
No.
and is the rope in good condition?
The rope looks, yeah, so that's a good question. Yes, the rope looks in particularly good condition. And, you know, considering that as you kind of we already talked about kind of the age of these statues, like these statues just by their, are kind of pre-apocalypse. And so probably in like a dungeon setting, a normal rope just hanging around for that long a time probably wouldn't look as in good a shape as this rope does. This looks like pretty, newish or pretty intact new rope. But you have to kind of maybe get closer to learn more about the rope. If like take it down and look at it now. But the rope does look like it's in nice shape, noticeably so. So it looks.
It is a cool idea for a statue, though, to have a, hanging statue. Not that I'm fond of the general aesthetics of this hallway of statues, but that one is
It's not.
kind of
It's not. It's unsettling. Like even though and I think even without like the curse, the making you think they're coming to life, like poor Avi had the last time he was here. They're pretty disturbing. So you guys are kind of looking at the statues. The three wounded folks are kind of slumped, and we're going to say they're kind of slumped on the ground towards the towards the doorway into room 3, so they didn't make it too far down the hallway before they slumped to the ground. I think Uric at this point, again, because he's been wounded, is less interested in the treasure than he was a little bit ago. So he's kind of hanging back and not really paying attention. And Gaius is starting to get a little bit impatient. He's like, well, these, that creature might still be out there, and I don't know how much longer. I don't know how much longer they can last. And he's pointing to the people on the ground, because he doesn't realize that the ruling I've made about the binding has saved them for now. But so he's a little worried about that. So he's starting to pressure you. He's not doing anything about it except kind of pressure, kind of vocalizing his impatience. But he's not like, I think important to note, he isn't deferring to you guys as in like he's not he's not necessarily showing you like a lot of respect, as if like, oh, you guys have bested his side and he has surrendered or whatever. Like he's not fighting back, but he's also starting to talk talk back. I don't know. It's not the nicest. Yeah, I guess his tone is a little disrespectful, perhaps. Entitled. Sorry, that's what I wanted to say. His tone is a little entitled. Anyways, but you guys can keep. So, but you can ignore him.
Well, Wrosk will probably give him like a squinty eye. I mean, Wrosk has ever had a squinty eye, but he'll give him the extra squinty eye, like thump his tail once or twice to kind of show his mild displeasure. But he might have a point, and I will think that too. Sire, I will say that out loud. I would suggest we just grab a couple gems off the least creepy looking statue, which is probably not the one that's cursed, but we don't know. And then see about getting out of here.
Well, the least creepy maybe is the drowning one. You think?
Yeah.
So the 2 gems from the drowning one. Okay, so you guys can grab those, and they come out pretty easily. If you're, they, the drowning woman, yeah, they come out pretty easily. Although the one on the kind of the left-sided one kind of cracks a little as you're taking it out. So you get it, one kind of comes out nice and smoothly. The other one is a little cracked. But you got the 2 gems from that. Yeah, that was wild. Okay, so you got 2 gems from the drowning woman, and now you've got 2 other statues to consider, or kind of go from just what you have and say leave those for another day.
Well, do we intend to come back?
I mean, Cyir would say, well, perhaps. Although, I don't know. These 2 went so well. I'm inclined. Maybe we should. I don't. I'm still not inclined to go after the hanging body, but maybe the 2 more from the woman giving birth.
Okay. Ross could go along with that.
Okay, so those 2 as well. Okay, let me check that. Okay, so not the hanging guy, right?
Right.
So you get those out as well. So you've got 4 gems. They come out fine. Four gems, and the statues. I don't think they look any less creepy without the gems for their eyes. Maybe a little less creepy.
Do we want to basically pass back the original way we came? Down into the tapestry room or the wall painting room?
Yeah, I think so. And is that gonna that will take us? Will that take us through the room that had all the? It was like crates and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you go to the so if you open the statue with the woman swings open, and you're able to go down into that room with the crates. I think we had determined that Mule had taken before you had taken the bag of gems the first time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I had that already. And Mule had taken some coins, I think.
Mule had taken coins. Yes. Yeah. So there is there's another like sack of coins. There and then there's like food, and then the nice plate armor was the other thing that was
Well, I think Yurik wanted that, didn't he?
That's notable.
He had his eye on that, didn't he?
Oh yeah, Yurik did want that. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Although now it's too. It's probably it's probably not. It's kind of. I think it's gonna be hard for him to get it out of there, and also carry these help the 3 wounded folks out. So I think Yurik is going to have to leave it behind. But I think Yurik, as you guys kind of go into this room, Yurik will. What do I want to say? Yurik will grab one of the other sacks of coins. Okay, and there's probably and so. It's annoying. The way I statted out this dungeon is now annoying me. Not as clear as I should have been. But we'll say there's now okay. So there's the mule had taken 1 sack of coins. There's 2 sacks left. Yurik grabs one of them, and then continues to help Avi along. You guys would have either one of you would probably be able to carry the last sack of coins if you wanted to do that. It's not gonna.
Or we could get Guileless to carry it.
Oh yeah, Guileless could too. I guess he'll do that. If it gets us out of here faster, fine, I'll take it.
Okay.
And you guys head down through the. Afterwards you can head down through where the mural room was. Okay. So you see the mural. Guileless hasn't seen this part before, so this is kind of new to Guileless, and he does take a little bit of time to look at the mural and try to piece together. Maybe he's thinking trying to piece together what it looked like before you guys busted it apart, and it's kind of taking in that mural room. Okay, next up, it would be then going from that room to the entrance, or to the hall leading up to the stairway. And so do you guys just want to head out from there?
I think Cyir, if he notices Guileless trying to make out the mural, but that part of it's busted up, I think Cyir probably couldn't resist saying, we tried to figure out what this was. It's a shame that somebody came in here to kind of deface this this fine piece of art. Can't really make much out of it now with those key pieces missing.
So he kind of looks and he says, Sadia would know, but she's in, she's in no condition to sort it out now. But I guess he probably. I'm not sure if he believes you. Can roll you've got that bonus. Yeah, roll a reaction roll because you do have that bonus. Let's see if he believes you.
All right. I rolled an 86. And my...
What'd you get? Oh, you're muted.
Oh. I rolled an 86.
Okay. So he believes you. I mean, as far as you can tell. Wait, am I supposed to roll the reaction? I always forget. I think I'm supposed to roll the reaction roll. Anyways, that's fine. With that 25 bonus, it's really hard for you not to make a good impression on people. So so he kind of nods and says, "Oh," and he's kind of interested. And he says, "We had, Saja didn't know about that room back there. What do you think?" Oh, but no, he'll put the pieces together. So Saja didn't know about that room back there, but I assume it was the that must have been used by the Higmoni who had been here, who had been using this as a hideout before Saja arrived. So yeah, there's none of these guys have given you like the backstory about that yet, but so Guileless will kind of point to that, kind of make some comment about that, because he would be able to piece some of this together himself. Okay, so you have that interaction with him, and now and now what do you guys want to do?
I mean, do you think we should just head out at this point? And
Yeah. If we're going to come back, and it's always possible that we can, I don't really think. I think we've got everything we came for, if that makes sense.
yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, there may be more to get, but I think the wounded people, and then there's also, I think, business that we can take care of out of the temple.
Yes, for sure.
Take Guileless back to his loving mother.
Yeah, I really want to see how that all goes down.
Okay. So you guys are going to head back out toward the up the stairs out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, I forget if we sacrificed blood on the way out.
You hadn't. You hadn't sacrificed blood on the last time you didn't, and nothing seemed to happen to any of you. Okay. Sorry about this. So sorry, I'm just checking something quickly here.
Is Nikki okay?
Okay, so the last piece, though, is that, or not the last piece. So what's going to happen is, this is kind of this one of the situations. So I think like you guys are going to. So far, in my imagination, like, and just so we can get on the same page, Cyir has had has the gems, has like has been kind of moving on point. Wrosk with I think Wrosk has been with Sir Onward, trying to like get kind of help Sir Onward along. Uric has been pulling Avi along, and then Guileless and Saja are a pair. And then so when you guys get into the hallway that leads up to the stairs, so it's like I think I had I can grab that I guess I never showed you guys that part of the map. Anyways, but you from the doorway leading into the mural room, kind of up the stairs. The hallway goes on like 20 feet or so, and then the stairs start. And so what's going to happen though is as you guys get out and are starting to get towards the stairs and mount them, you hear a sound from the back of the line of Gylus crying out. And it does seem like he has been, by the time you kind of sort out what it seems like has happened, it does look like that that creature that you had encountered before has, kind of ambushed and attacked Gylus from behind. And just so that I'm not kind of cheating, I did look to see what the surprise rules were. And basically, unless you have the observation skill, which neither of you guys have, there's no way to avoid the surprise, is my understanding. So, but this, but the guy's, he's preying on Gylus, so it's not the worst loss for you guys. So it's
No,
not the worst thing.
Ross calls out to the creature, I need him alive. Stupid creature.
This guy's rough. Ooh. So let's see here. Okay. So the creature. Oh wow. So the creature claws into Gylus from behind, and Gylus goes down. I believe Gylus goes down. And also, so he was helping Saja, so Saja also kind of slumps to the ground as well. What do you guys want to do? Now that we're no longer in surprise round, so that was the creature's surprise attack. And so again, just to kind of recap the locations, you guys are kind of in a line along this hallway. Gylus and Saja are now slumped in the floor in front of this creature who's there. And just to remind you what he looked like, he has these kind of giant, two long fangs sticking out. Does appear to be some type of, like his flesh and sinew and stuff is moving like one of the undeads, but is moving very quickly. Arms elongated from what a normal human's arm would be, but does seem maybe at some time before being modified by some type of necromantic magic had been some type of human, living humanoid creature at some point. And then what else do I want to say about him? I think that's anyways, he's now like hulking over the bodies of Gylus and Saja. And then next up, Yurik and Avi, and then Wrosk and Cyir Onward, who's again not active, and then Cyir taking point. So what do you guys want to do? And just as a other thing, it's still daytime outside, and the daylight does penetrate down barely to the bottom of the stairs, kind of where Cyir almost is. So kind of going further up is into daylight. But if you were to go back towards him or the creature, you would be going back into darkness. So what do you guys want to do?
I think Wrosk will Probably just more on instinct than anything. Push Sir onward up the stairs.
Yeah.
And pull out his bow.
Okay, that sounds good. Oh, I should forget. Yeah, we should roll initiative, I guess. Sorry about that. So yeah, one dice 6.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so first Uric and grabbing Avi is the closest to this creature now, and Uric has been wounded, but he is holding Avi, who is his friend. But I'm gonna see whether he is able to keep his composure. And he is not, and he drops Avi and makes a break for the stairs. He's running up the stairs. Cyir, your turn.
Well, that does change things. Cyir will I think what Cyir's going to do is turn around and throw a dagger at the creature. So Cyir is somewhat in the light at this point. I mean,
he's right at the edge, so
yeah.
he can take one. I think if he takes one step, you can get yourself easily in this turn into the light and still kind of throw a dagger. That's
right. Yeah, so I think that's what I will attempt.
okay. So let's just double check.
My
so you're gonna have
I have a +4 with the dagger.
So you will be 11 to hit.
Okay.
2 hit rolls and 11.
I rolled a 13.
Okay, nice.
And it's a D4, I think.
Okay, sounds good.
And I rolled a 3 for the damage.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay. So the creature moves forward and okay, yeah. So the creature moves forward, and doesn't get to is now kind of chasing after Uric. Doesn't get to him, but will now advance to within range of Wrosk for next turn. And Wrosk, what are you up to? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Wrosk will again push Sir onward up the stairs.
Oh, right. That's where you're.
It's like go, go.
Okay. Yeah.
And since it's in close range, if I were to move slightly out of range, could I still take some bow shots, or does it get to attack me as I leave its zone of control?
No, there's no area. Yeah, there's nothing like that. It's more that if you were gonna stand your ground, unless you're doing anything but running away from him, next round he'll be able to get you. Is the issue?
Okay.
so if you're trying to kind of stand away and then use a bow at him, he'll still be able to get you next round, but you can definitely take a bow shot at him this turn.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, and let me see. Okay, and Sir Onward, just so you know, Sir Onward takes like 2 steps and then staggers onto the ground, like, in between you and Cyir, so out of the light, still in the darkness. Okay. But you're gonna have to hit is gonna be
Yeah, I would attack AV0
your
with
hit is
bow.
gonna be 15.
Okay. And I get 2 bow shots, is that right?
Yes, yeah.
Well, a 3 and a 19.
Okay, so one hits.
For 3 points of damage.
Okay, nice. Okay. So it's taken the dagger, it's taken the kind of the bow. Neither one of those things seems like both are solid, kind of solid hits, and yet neither one of them seems to have slowed it down at all. It's not, who knows with these undead and their pain threshold or what it really happens, but they definitely seem like solid hits, but this thing is keeping moving. So next round, everyone roll initiative.
I rolled a 1.
I've got a 3, so we switch places.
Okay, so Uric passes by Wrosk. Fine, actually Uric was kind of right where Wrosk was, and now is like kind of even farther past him, and is now hit the stairs. So he's past Cyir now too. He's just kind of running up, and now is into the light. The creature though now has closed to range with Wrosk, and is going to attack. And let's see, your armor rating is still 2 though. Yeah. Okay. So armor rating is still 2.
Hey, you might roll low.
He could. Okay, so he what does he do? Okay, yeah. So he does let's see, he does, first of all, like, he claws into Wrosk. So he kind of gets to Wrosk and starts ripping up with these claws, and that does 2 hit points and then 7 points to his armor. And then make a saving throw, because he then with getting that close to you is able to get his fangs into you too. So make a saving.
I roll a 7 and I have a 5+ for everything. So
okay, so he does kind of get his fangs into you, but that doesn't seem to do any damage at the moment. You're able to wriggle out of the way, luckily, at the last moment, so they don't attack. But the those claws really ripped into you. That was a significant thing that happened to you there. And so what do you want to do about it?
I'm going to drop my bow and pull out my shield. As much protection as that's going to give me.
Yeah.
And my dagger. And I'll give him a jab.
sounds good.
5.
So,
So I
yeah.
missed.
So you miss. He's kind of too tough and wily, and he's strong, probably stronger than you, and kind of pushing you around a little bit. So you're kind of falling back even under this kind of attack. And he's really bigger than. I mean, the other thing, yeah, he's really bigger than you.
Stupid big creatures. How do they make undead so big?
Cyir. So Wrosk is having trouble with this guy for sure. But Wrosk isn't too far away from Yugu and where the light is starting.
Yeah, because I think at this point, Cyir is thinking, getting into the light would be an advantageous thing. I'm basically there, right? I mean,
yeah, you're basically there. Yeah. Again, if you wanted to, if you could actually step into the light and throw another dagger.
Mhm.
That's for sure. Did we determine that you can throw daggers into
melee.
I've been reading too many rule sets.
Yeah, I think that there's some risk. I think that there was something in the rules
right.
about
Would
risk.
Wrosk be able to fall back a little bit from where he was?
I think not until next time.
Okay.
I mean,
you have a chance of being hit if it misses. So if you miss with a roll of 2, 3, or 4, you must re-roll to hit Wrosk, basically.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of distance, I mean, I'm also wondering, like, would I be able to kind of go in and kind of grab Ross and move him back?
Yes. Yeah. You could definitely do that.
I think that's what I would do. I mean, I'll kind of be kind of grabbing him and then kind of getting us into the light area, hoping that this underground undead, whatever it is not going to be fond of the light.
Yeah.
Wrosk will not put up any resistance to that.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. So yeah, you can definitely do that. You can kind of step in, grab him, and get kind of back to where you were in enough time. And you're right, and like you were right at the edge of the light, so you can be kind of right into it. Let's roll initiative one more time at least. We'll see what happens.
I rolled a 4 this time.
I rolled a 6 this time.
Okay, so Wrosk, what do you want to do? You're in the light. You're at the edge. The creature, kind of was a little. I think reflexively kind of was making a go to keep going after you.
Okay.
But so we don't know what he's actually going to do in his turn, but that's what it looks like if we're thinking to give you information about what you might want to do. So you guys are within its range this turn if it tries to go after you, but you're also in the light too. So
okay. We actually have a lantern, don't we?
Yeah. So I think that I think probably Yurik would have been carrying the lantern.
Okay.
Might have been dropped.
Yeah.
Yurik would have dropped the lantern when he dropped Avi. So now there's the lantern is giving light next to Avi's body down the corridor from you guys where you are now.
Great. Yeah. Can I wait to attack him until he comes up to attack me?
Yes. Yeah. So attack. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's fine. Holding your attack. That's reasonable.
And I will make a lot of noise at it.
Okay.
Somewhat stupidly, I guess. But...
Okay, that's fair. So it will come. It's going to come in and try to attack you again.
Okay.
Wait, let me check actually. Okay, let's say this. Okay, yeah, it does try to come and attack you again. So it gets up close to you, and it's yeah, that's pretty good. So it kind of does the same type of thing, except this time doesn't manage to even get near you with its teeth, but does claw you twice again. And so you take 5 points of damage to your armor and 2 hit points again, which I think is going to destroy your armor.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. However, it is in the light now, and it does it's it's can kind of, I don't know what. I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. So it starts, its flesh starts to kind of sizzle, and you start to hear this, and like steam starts to rise off of it, or smoke starts to rise off of it, from where the sunlight is sort of touching it.
Do I get to roll my attack on it, or?
Yes, you do. Sorry.
Oh, and I did take some of the damage.
Oh, right, you did take a. Sorry, you should have done that first. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I did take some of the damage on my shield, so I have 1 point of armor left.
Okay. Anyways, it would have you would have gotten into it. You can attack it. It's probably
16.
So that's a hit.
4 points of damage.
Oh, nice. Okay. So it's sizzling. It gets a knife into it, a dagger into it, and it's starting to recoil. Cyir. So it is starting to recoil from all that, but you are in range of, you're in melee range for sure.
Okay. I mean, I think I'll go at it with my 2 scimitar then.
Okay, sounds good. And so for you,
it's a plus 4, I think, for my.
Yeah, so it's hit 11 again.
Okay. Neither one hits. It's a 2 and a 7 for my attacks.
So you're swinging at it, and I think it's because it's recoiling back. Like, it keeps moving. It starts reflexively kind of moving away from the light, and then is moving farther away from you. And you're probably not. Once you see that what the light is doing to it, you probably don't want to kind of follow it. So it throws off your balance a little bit, or it throws off your what do you call it? Your aim. And then Yurik is continuing to kind of. He looks back a little bit of what's happening, and is now kind of continuing. He's up at the that part of the stairway where the little shrine was, the alcove. Okay. Next round.
I rolled a 6. Sean, you're muted.
Can Wrosk have yelled back to him as he's running away, get help, get the hunters, or something along those lines?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. I rolled a 4.
Roll a 4. Like, whether he does that is another question. But yeah, so Cyir, and again, this creature is like, you can get to him and kind of get back to the safety of being in the light. But if he keeps moving backwards in the direction he's going, it will get tougher to kind of maintain that dance. But you have one kind of you definitely have this opportunity to kind of to go after him, and keep yourself at least in the light if he decides to kind of keep it with you, keep going after you.
I missed twice more, 2 and a 6.
And he's kind of backing up more. He's running back down. He's kind of scurrying back down, and he gets to, and now he's kind of like, he's scurrying back down, and then he's going to kind of turn and kind of see what you guys are doing. And he's kind of hunching over where he hasn't quite made it back to where the other bodies are, but he's in the shadows, kind of turned and hunching and kind of looking at you. And then Wrosk, what do you want to do?
Did I have to drop my bow, or could I have put it away before?
It's hard to say. Like, there's no particular. I think you'd probably. I think it's probably more likely that. I mean, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I think.
I kind of feel like Ross probably threw the bow down. Is what he did.
I think that's fair.
And is it closer to the creature or to me?
I think you weren't moving that far though. So, so I think you'd be able to get it. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Oh yeah. So, yeah, the bow's probably back where he is if you mention it.
Does the Cyir have a bow, a short bow, or anything?
I think he just has the throwing daggers.
Okay.
So,
well, I'll throw my dagger at him then.
Okay, sounds good. I think that's also a 15.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, what do you guys? So, let's do one more. Let's roll the dice again to see. Just gonna.
I rolled a 4. I rolled a 4. A 4 for me.
6 for me.
So Wrosk, so it's kind of lurking there. It's looking at you guys. It's not moving towards you now. But you would definitely, you guys would have to kind of go back in after it if you wanted to do something about it.
Wrosk is going to light one of his torches.
Okay, that's good.
And
nice.
Is the creature within telepathic range?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So Ross is going to think to it because he doesn't. I don't think Ross would think the creature's smart enough to talk.
Yeah.
He thinks to it, "What do you want from us?" As I'm brandishing the torch at it.
So I think you can't. I think there's it's like a blank. I think it's like a blank for you.
Okay.
And it's I think, and it's not clear, but it's different than with the zombies, which is you get a background kind of like a background vibration, but there's not much going on there. It's just sort of this low intensity little thoughts go eat, fight, just very very basic and can't really communicate with them, but you do get something off of the zombies. But this creature is more of some, I guess it would be more I don't know, I guess, I mean, you definitely haven't experienced something like that in this game, so I don't know if Ross would have before, but it's different than even other undead that you've been telepathically around.
So then Ross will just brandish the torch at it, see if let's see if it reacts to that at all.
Okay, so it's not really. No, it doesn't really react to the torch. The torch doesn't seem to frighten it at all. Okay, Cyir.
I don't think Cyir is inclined to go into the dark, but if he can fling another dagger at it, he'll try that.
Yeah, that's no problem.
All right.
And I think you're 11 again. I think.
So I got a 13. Unfortunately, my daggers are are hitting
Yeah.
more, but they don't do
much.
too much damage. But it does 4 damage. So
Okay, nice. Okay. So it gets hit, and then I think it's gonna. It moves back. It moves back farther, and you can see it now. It's kind of hanging out near. So it's near. It goes back to near where Gaius and Saja have fallen. And we'll move out. I think of kind of strict initiative for the moment so we can kind of rearrange. So what it's going to do, it's going to grab Gaius and start dragging him back farther down the corridor into the darkness.
Of course, yes.
Like farther back down straight down towards that room with the stairway. The stairways are on the outside. So he's not going into the mural room. He's going past that, just farther down. He's dragging Gaius, down there. And so you guys would have the opportunity at this point to get Saja and Avi back if you were so inclined.
Yeah, I think we should probably drag them out. Plus, get my bow.
yeah, and unfortunately, Gaius, you know. But I think for practical reasons, yeah, I think we I don't know that I'm really interested in tangling with him. And for all we know, he may have other similar ghoulish friends. I mean, he may not be the only one in here either, so we don't know. But yeah, I think you're right. I think we get we take what is there, which is Saja and Avi, and make our way into the light.
So it takes some time, and I think you guys are also as you go even that it's not that far down. It's like 30 feet down from where the light is or whatever to where Saja was laying, but it's still sort of nerve wracking, and you guys are now I think much more on alert. You don't hear him coming back, so you kind of get them out of there. Yurik doesn't come back during any of this, so it does take you guys a little bit of time to get out into the daylight. It's now getting to be kind of late-ish afternoon, and Avi. Yurik is there by the entrance though with Brock and I lost my notes for what the other guy's name. There's Ebel, who was over on the other side. She was hidden out of the other side. There's Brock and
so Elise went out with Mule.
Lisa and Rymac and Mule went out. So they're there too. So there's Mule, Rymac, and Elisa, and then there's Brock and one other guy, Brock's friend. Sorry, I forgot his name. I have too many NPCs. It's like a whole caravan of us now. But anyways, so Brock and his buddy are there. Mule is there. They probably left. Actually, they probably left Rymac back up there because he's injured. He's up at the top there. Oh, Demark. Thank you, Sean. Save me. Brock and Demark. Okay. I will make sure that goes into the document for posterity. And they're kind of milling around, kind of looking at you guys. And once they see you, kind of come at back right at the top of the stairs. Like they wait till they see you right there. Then they kind of helps her onward up and come down to help with Saja and Avi. And then once kind of you guys have kind of again this milling around and they're sort of seeing, and then Uric is kind of says, "Oh, where's Gylus?"
Creature took him.
So that's and I think Elise breaks out in tears to hearing that. Uric kind of looks. I don't know how he would feel about that. I think Uric might be putting on a show of also being sad, but isn't. Mule is sad. Yeah, Mule is really upset by that. And Brock and DeMarc don't kind of care as much. They're not as invested in Gylus per se. Yeah, maybe they are. Anyways, but Elisa is upset. Mule is pretty upset by that. Uric is pretending to be upset. Okay. So you guys can take some time to regroup. They let you know Rymac. They left him up at the kind of perch right above the entrance where Brock and DeMarc had been kind of hanging out before they saw Uric run out, and then they came down with them. So what do you guys want to do next now? I mean, theoretically, you guys, Brock and DeMarc are, armed. They are fully rested. They don't, like I say, they don't seem super interested, or they're not like getting. It doesn't look like they're aiming to like go rescue Gylus. For what that's worth.
But Elisa probably is, I would think.
She's been injured, I think, and isn't not kind of, she's up and about, but she's been in a fight. Actually, yeah. So she will say like, well, is he still alive? We should, how we can't leave him.
Well, Wrosk will look around, and so Brock and DeMarc are okay. The other hunter we brought with us, I guess she's okay.
Yeah, but she's not around here. I mean, you guys left her at someplace else, so she is not in this group at the moment. But you do have now. But yeah, Elisa has been injured. Rymac is another guy who's like negative hit points up. Up hanging out. You've got like a bunch of negative hit point guys right now.
Yeah.
You have like a long way out of here too. So, I don't know. It's not.
I think we risk everybody's life by going in back in after him. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think rest his soul. I mean, who knows what Gylus's final fate will be, but I mean, he did want to be there.
Right.
He seemed to make his choice that he wanted to be in that place, but I feel like we certainly have rescued many.
That's a good point. I like that.
Well, and it seems like just thinking about the Saja and the others who are negative. I mean, if we went kind of bravely going back into to the temple, I mean, I guess you're just leaving, people who need medical care or just kind of hanging out.
Yeah. No, I think it's a bad idea to go back, but I don't want to put my thumb on it, as the game master. But there's a lot of consequences for going back, and I think your speech, I think if you Cyir kind of says that to and Elisa kind of hears it, and she's sad, but she because but she kind of says, okay, like I I don't want anyone else to get hurt. I think that will do it for her. Like, I don't want anyone else to get hurt, but she's pretty depressed about it. And then once Yurik kind of feels he's off the hook, he's now he's a little bit, I don't know. He's now he's turns up maybe the intensity of his pretending to be sad a little bit. Now that he realizes he doesn't actually have to go do anything about it. Okay, so next step. So what do you guys want to do next? Yeah. So there's this logistical. I mean, I guess a couple of things. One, this logistical issue of like, how do you want to transport all of these sort of wounded, and like, because if you're just going, like I said, if you're just kind of carrying them along like you guys have been, it's gonna not just be like a day, it's gonna be like a lot of time. But it is gonna get dark too, is the other thing.
Right, and the harpies are nearby too.
There were harpies that you guys had seen earlier that day, and their tower is not close, but it's like their tower, I think we decided is closer than the village, but not much closer than that. But they can cover that distance because they can cover that distance flying faster than you can make it by foot back to the village.
Weren't there some ruins on the way back?
Yes. Yeah.
And are they close enough for us to hide in?
Yeah, you could make your way to that, the kind of ruins. Yeah.
Then I could collect all the bindings from among the group, if there are any, and try to start working on people.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable. So, if you can, so the ruin that I had, let me.
Of course, I wonder if there's something in the ruin too.
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
I said, I wonder if there's something in the ruin too. That would just be our luck.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you never know. I mean, it is like an old school dungeon-y crawly game, but who knows? No, I'm just go to the ruin, guys. No. So you're not. So the ruin kind of looks like. So that's kind of what the ruin looked like, although it's more on the top of a hill, as I had mentioned, than that picture gives the impression of. But the ruin probably is, you would say, from where you guys are now, it's definitely with the speed of the guys you're with, it probably take a couple hours, but you can probably reach it by nightfall, because I think we determined it's summer, so the sun is going to be out pretty late. So you can definitely reach it by nightfall. Whereas if you were going to try to go back to the village with, again, slower pace with all these injured people, you'd have to like walk all night and be out in the night. So I think it's a reasonable kind of place to make your way towards.
So we can stay here on that overlook that we've been on before.
Yes. Yeah, that's one option.
We can try and make it to that ruin, or we can walk all night.
Yes, yeah. You can make it to the ruin probably by nightfall, give or take. You can stay here. The the hill or the lookout is not. I mean, it's not indefensible, but it's not. It is. It's still kind of out of the open, and
And that creature might come out at night too.
yes. And then the other thing would be to just try to make it all the way home, just to keep going, which would take time, but. And there are other. The other thing is. Well, I mean, I don't need to. So.
Yeah, I mean, Cyir, I think is inclined to think, get to the ruin, see if we can. I mean, we don't need to do any extensive exploration, but just find some cover there, or find some, cover and something that's kind of defensible, and then maybe. I mean, there's part of me that wonders that, like, maybe after a little bit of rest, that maybe. I mean, I'd have to imagine the really injured ones among us are not moving very quickly, right? But we could maybe have one or two then set out early to do a very quick move to the village to just inform them as quickly as possible, and they if they were able to send out a kind of equipped group, that would be a kind of maybe a safer way to do this.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So head to the ruin that's reasonable. Okay. So you do note though that so you guys are kind of getting the plan together. You're making arrangements. You're coming up with like who's the buddy for whom with terms of carrying wounded, helping the wounded along, and it's at some point in all of this, maybe it's DeMarc who says, "I'm going to go tell Ibel about this, make sure she knows," and then Brock kind of says, "Yeah, it's weird that she hasn't kind of come down since she should be able to have seen us all kind of hanging out here, but maybe she decided to stay at her place." But as you guys are kind of getting ready and siding up, the DeMarc comes back and says Ibel isn't where we left her. She's gone. I called out for her, but she's not there.
Is there any sign of a struggle?
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I guess he would be. Let me see if he would be able to figure that out. Oh, I didn't. Not that I could see. No.
Well, I mean, we do know that the harpies had spotted us.
That's true. That's true.
Did anyone hear any screams or cries or anything like that?
No, we didn't. But the question is, does this change your guys' plan at all? Just knowing that.
Hey, I don't think it changes it for Wrosk, although on our way out, Wrosk will try to go up where she was and sniff around.
Okay.
See if he can.
Yeah, so roll the tracking.
23 out of 40.
Okay, nice. So yeah, you do see signs of a struggle, pretty brief one, but you don't. There's no. But apart from like your guys' kind of tracks in and out, there's no like tracks on the ground, kind of coming there. And I don't. And you would smell like some other. You smell something that smells. You haven't necessarily smelled up close before, but smells like birds. Kind of like bird type creature. So you can make it. You can put the two. It's probably the harpy. You guys are right.
Yeah. The harpy
That
probably
would,
got.
yeah, that would be your. That would make sense. Okay. So. Oh wait. Whoops. Oh yeah. And so, in fact, as then as you guys are going, you guys are back in your you've just so you guys are still going to go to the ruin, right? Even though Ibella is missing, doesn't really change. Like, I don't think it really changes the momentary plan. So you guys make your way up there, and again, it's really hard going. It's not fun. It's slow. It's frustrating. I think you've got people in physical shock. You've got all these people now in like psychological and emotional shock after all this. Uh, um, I think Uric is starting to regain some of his confidence and sort of the more of the negative sides of his personality, maybe too. I guess a lot of his personality is pretty negative, even before when he was not as confident. But he's starting to guess kind of yeah, he's kind of coming back, and he's I think you see him kind of eyeing your pouches with all the gems. He's kind of keeping close, making sure that he wants to make sure that he gets in on the cut. Because I think only because with Guileless gone, kind of no one really knows that you guys looted the place, except for him, because everyone else was sort of out of it, delirious. So yeah. Although Mule does too.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, Mule knows the little bit of the looting, but not the whole story. And anyways, you guys are making your way up to the ruin, and you're kind of at the last. You're at the base of the hill. You got to kind of bring these guys up the hill to where the ruin is, and you see the overhead another heartbeat kind of circling. It's kind of had kind of you know kind of came in from the distance, kind of circled around you guys for a little bit, and then it kind of heads back to whence it came. But so it has spotted you, you know, um, but you guys can continue to make your way up to the ruin. So you get up to the ruin, and again, it looks like that building, and it does seem like this has been kind of a place that's been used recently, and I think the people of the village, like at least one of the villagers, would kind of know about this, and like kind of maybe they, maybe even will say like, oh yeah, this is herders, herders from the herders who live here sometimes use this place as a shelter, and so it's sort of known, I guess. Once and I don't know why they didn't bring it up before and tell you that. Maybe they did. I don't know. Sorry about that. That was a blip on my part. They should have been more clear about that. But he's like, it's known as like a place that herders use as a shelter. and no one seems to be there at the moment. But it is kind of once you get up there, does seem pretty defensible. The ceiling is intact. There is there's only that one entrance, but once you kind of go in, it's very sort of maze like, so it's very easy to so it's very easy to kind of you know would be easy to kind of fend off kind of anyone else kind of getting in, and so it has that benefit. Let me I'll give you the map just so you know. Another all these maps, by the way, just I should give credit, it's all the Dyson Logos maps, so I should give credit to
He makes some amazing maps.
who made the maps. And so yeah, this is the inside of it. So yeah, and you guys can take time to kind of explore a little bit around and stuff, and but it is pretty defensible is the point. So you guys are able to kind of make yourself fairly comfortable, quickly. So there's that. So I think it sounds like you guys have the plan at the moment would be to kind of rest a little bit here, spend the night here, and then set out the next. And then was that the plan? Rest here overnight and then set out the next day to kind of do the fast thing to town, and then get help back to help with the rest of the wounded.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could even leave if this is pretty defensible. Split up a little bit. Leave a couple people back with the wounded, and have others just kind of go to town quickly to try to I think we get to town. I don't think it should be. It doesn't strike me that it would be particularly difficult to persuade them to kind of send a force to recover the wounded.
Yeah, they'll have brothers or cousins or and especially if it's just like an easy rescue. It's not like they're asking people to go up against a necromancer or kind of delve into a zombie infested tomb.
Right.
It's a little bit easier to sell. Yeah, and like I say, this kind of this temple or this ruin is like known by the villagers too, so it's that. Okay. So let's think about then just wrapping up for now. I think just because my brain is starting to brain blip. But we have a sense of what the next part of the plan will be. So important to note, the harpies do kind of know you're here. Ebel was probably taken by a harpy. The harpy tower is again about the same distance from here as the village, and the harpies can cover more ground than you guys can. They can fly. And then yes, that's good. That's good to remember. That's fine for now. Okay, sounds good. Any questions from you guys?
I don't think so. Yeah, and we obviously needed to decide if we meet up with the mistress of the town, and we do have the necromancer who maybe will pull through here, and exactly how that's going to.
It's kind of well, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting how it all played out. Yeah, I wasn't expecting some of this.
Poor Bell.
Yeah, that was tough. we barely knew ye.
Right.
Gylus did kind of deserve it, but it's interesting. I mean, I do. You can say like, oh, It didn't have to be that way for a number of reasons, but that's how it turned out.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
If he had been enthusiastic, okay, I see the writing on the wall. I'm coming back to the other side. You know, he could have been well armed. Things would have been more. Probably he would not have been eaten by the creature. You know?
It's interesting.
Which I suspect is either he's going to get eaten or he's going to get possessed or something, or transformed.
Yes, yeah. That's always a problem with the undead.
Well, yeah, and I really like the kind of parallel, like the two lurking menaces who have each taken off, right? You know, somebody that we've known, right?
Right.
And are still kind of then there as kind of active menaces that we need to decide if we want to go after them, and if so, how we would go after them.
So yeah, so it's pretty cool. I like it. I do, so I do think I'm thinking like I think I was reading something of like in relation to like something not my games or anything I'm playing, but like it's like you shouldn't have too many NPCs in a game, and I'm like, well, and I'm looking at the list of this thing, and I'm like, well, probably if I can't remember their names, it might be a sign that it's too many. On the other hand, I kind of like the way it's played out, where it's like on the like in some ways that's like, okay, you can use them to help out, and it's good, especially because there's just the two players. It's good to have some extra bodies, but then it becomes a logistical problem as well. It's like, okay, now what do we do with these like negative hit point NPCs who are potentially like valuable in different ways, or if we leave them behind, that may be a problem down the road, or like you say with the Necromancer, it's probably a valuable prisoner. So I think it's kind of interesting to kind of have that kind of in play. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, especially in this particular situation, I think it's been really interesting. At the end of the day, not that I think Garrick or the mistress of the town are going to do much soul searching, but both of them probably should think about the people who they've sacrificed for this particular boondoggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially poor Ebel.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see how she feels when she realizes the extent of all this stuff. Okay, sounds good. So yeah, I'm gonna now, before I go to bed, I'm gonna just type up the summary. I'm gonna put in that info channel so we'll have it, and then that's more for my benefit than anyone else's. But then feel free to like go to it or add to it or ask questions. There if something comes up, or feel free to do it in the chat we had already. I mean, I'm not kind of I don't want to tell people what to do, but it just if it's something to do with like the planning or stuff, it might be helpful to keep it there just so that we can kind of refer to it during the game.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think the dedicated channel like this should work out pretty well.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So I started it because I was doing this Tunnel Goons thing where we're doing a hex crawl with like all these different things, and also in that game it's not like the same people every week necessarily. It's sort of people drop in and out. So I was like, I needed to do it for that, but then I was like, oh, it actually works for all the games. So I set the thing up for all the other ones too. Pretty cool. And I had been doing it like on other sites. Like I was like keeping like other, like I was doing like a summary like as a Google Doc somewhere, and then like that it doesn't make sense to like have things spread out necessarily for my purposes. Or it makes sense for other people, but it wasn't working for me. So. Anyways, sounds good.
Cool. Well, thank you for running. That was great.
Well, this is great. I love this game. I love playing.
Yeah, I do too.
It's so much fun.
Although Wrosk needs to get healed up a little bit.
He does. You can bind yourself too.
Well, I'm all around. I've ran out of bindings because I
Oh.
bound so many people. So I'm hoping
Okay.
some of them have some, but we'll see.
They probably would have brought some. I would have to say. I think it would be reasonable to say they brought some. How many would they have brought? There's only, as it turns out, they weren't as well prepared as you'd hope. They only have one extra binding available.
Great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the thing with Cyir, I mean, he could use a rest to get some spell capability.
yeah.
Like, the way his points work out, Ross can basically cast a spell, and then he has like some points left, but not enough that actually take him to the threshold to actually cast another one.
I know it's rough. Like
Yeah.
that is rough. Yeah. Like I said, I think as I was, talking about I've been talking about this a lot, but I do think. I mean, I guess I'm torn because I do appreciate. I mean, I get that like it could take forever to advance if you follow the rules as written. On the other hand, I don't know. You don't want to go too fast either. I don't know.
Right.
It's hard to say.